Graham, you've done a lot of environmental work at Peel Forest, and you've won 2 environmental awards. What motivated you to get started on the environmental work?
Well, I suppose initially I was concerned about the state the farm was getting in, and always thought I must get onto it. But I suppose I was what really pushed me into it was a very nasty letter from ECAN advising me that the condition of the water coming off the farm was not acceptable, and I had to do something about it in a very short period of time. It did bring it fully focused to myself, the state the farm was in, and I felt incredibly embarrassed about it. And you know, we did have a profile, and I thought that was letting us down. So as far as the animals concerned, and the ability to farm them properly and healthily, it had to be done, and it's the best thing I ever did.
What were some of the practical challenges you found when you started doing the work?
Well, the practical challenge, of course, is to see how you can do it in a cost-effective way. It's not just a matter of saying I've got to fence out all the waterways. If you just go ahead and do that, it can be extremely expensive and very difficult. You have to try and see whether you can replan and reset up the water structure through your farm. And we were able to do that by combining 3 streams into one, or 3 creeks into one, and that made a huge difference. I know you've then got to do all the troughs, which you had to do anyway, but it's made a huge difference to the farm. We've actually most likely be able to utilise more land as well. There is another thing that we're looking at for another block of land here, is that we're actually going to take the water off the farm and put it down the side of the farm, alongside a road, and then put it back in at the other end onto the other person's farm, and that means we don't have to fence down the middle of the farm. So there are various different avenues you can look at before you just go in and say I've got to do fencing. Just study it carefully as to what your options are.
Graham, on the genetic side, you're doing some interesting work there. Can you tell me what you're doing first with the B11s? What sort of animal are you trying to develop there?
Well, we're trying to develop a really hardy, reliable terminal sire, which get animals in calf early, and I suppose mainly aimed more for the bigger operations up on the hills, and the people can put these stags out there. They can handle all the rough weather, the stresses of cold and shortage of feed, which difficult for those people to control in a big expansive environment. They can cover that. They haven't got to worry about backup stags, and they come off the hill easily, which is also very important, and they winter very easily. They're not soft, and so we've developed a bloodline which we think has got all the various breed ingredients to do that, and they're not too big. A lot of people don't like too big animals either for handling. And they've got all of the package of growth rates in them, because we're using DBVs on the female side wherever we can find them. It's not always best to try and get one animal to do everything. Never. This needs a compromise. So the best thing is to get a terminal sire and get what we call a maternal sire, which we're going to call them foresters. And they're basically to produce your replacements. Will be really hardy, not too big, so they're very cost effective feed-wise and production-wise on the farm. And they'll always come back into, and they reliably come back into calf, and they'll handle the high country. So that's the simple system, and it works extremely well.